Tom, it's just a tough subject. A recent study by Brown University showed that nearly 450 children are killed each year.
So as we're watching Dr. Phil and getting an insight on Summer Wells, you know, we're paying close attention to every piece of words that are coming out of their mouth. We're paying attention to their body language. We're paying attention to every little detail. We're going back. We're fast forwarding forward. We're rewinding back. And so go ahead and shoot that. So Don Wells on here says the first thing he thought of when he realized his daughter was missing is that she was abducted. That was his very first thought. My question is with that, all that greenery, all that trees, all that whole vast land, your first inclination would be that she was abducted? Not that she was lost, not that she went out and played and fell asleep somewhere, you know, in a tree, something. Your first thought was she was abducted. And he says that multiple times, that that's his first thought, is that she was abducted. My question is that would have been my first thought, first and foremost. Secondly, why would that have been his first thought? Was he threatened by somebody that he owed maybe money to, that if he didn't pony up, something would happen to his family? If he didn't owe any money, why would that be his first thought? The wife, Candace, has failed and actually got up out of the interrogation with the human lie detectors. The two gentlemen that were there, you know, reading body language and everything else like that, which was a little suspicious because, you know, you're here to try to find answers for your daughter. And especially if you think she was abducted, your first thing would be, you know, selflessness. You're not worried about yourself. You throw everything on the table to save your child. And somebody asks the tough question and you break down and get up and don't want to talk about it and take your microphone off. This is not conduct of people that had nothing to do or don't know anything. Secondly, it was apparent that Don Wells may have been at work during the time. So why is the wife half, Candace, so upset about stuff? To me, just this little bit I've previewed thus far, I believe she knows a hell of a lot more than she's saying she knows. I think Don now knows that she may have been involved, and that's why he's having some body language, eye blinking pattern issues. But if he was not there at the time she disappeared, I think the mom knows exactly what happened to Summer Wells. And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Coffee Club. Thought I would throw that out there so everybody can watch. We've got a lot of stuff we're going to go over. Good morning, everyone. If you have not joined the Coffee Club, there's only one requirement. Come here every morning. And if you want to support the channel, this is the bestseller on the merch site. Good morning, all. Good morning. So we are, we've got a lot of stuff we're going to be covering this morning. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning, Miss Robin. Good morning, everybody. I see a lot of, few new people in here, you know, and I see a few of my friends. So it's great to have every one of you guys here this morning. Hello, Sherry Ann. Hello, hello. So, you know, we're just going to get started here shortly. I'm still putting stuff together. I got, you know, our mods are really great. Our mods are amazing in here, and they send me things and keep me on my toes. And I'm trying to find my screen record from last night that I had played for all of you guys, and I just can't. Oh, I know where it's at. I know where it's at. I remember now. It's the great thing about, there we go. I'm downloading it. I think I had it on my phone. Anyways, so we're going to go over a couple things. We've got some new stuff coming on. The cracks in the Wells lives are breaking wide open. We are having
Oh, good. I'm glad you got your mojo. I don't know what that's all about, but we'll keep an eye on it. There we go. There we go. Oh, no, I have not. So maybe we'll go over there as well. So I'm running off of 2 computers because I still haven't gotten my HDMI connector for the second screen, and it makes it difficult for me to try to do it all off one screen. I'm so used to 2 screens. So now I've got the other computer over here. There's the old computer, the one that's been beat up. We are on the MacBook Pro. I love it. It's been set up beautifully. Just some quirky stuff I'm still learning because it is a learning curve, and I'm not going to get through the learning curve without using it quite a bit. So, just bear with me. I did find a way to make all these computers work. It's the mute button. It goes from womp, womp, womp. I was trying to do some testing, and it was really, really bad. It was really, really bad. But hopefully I'll get all of these hooked together, and I can tell you we're not going to have any drops in the middle of our, unless it's the internet. We're not going to have any drops. This new computer's running beautifully. This one, the old computer still drops here and there, but as long as I don't go down personally, I'm fine. I can always reset everything back up. So we're good. We're in good shape there. So let me go over there. Where was that at on is that the official Wells channel, Robin? Let me go over there real quick. Open the official Wells channel. And we've got a special guest today to discuss Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner. I've been working with her. Well, I shouldn't say working with her. I've seen her on the scene way back when this case first started breaking open. She is, along with my friend Dell, has really followed this case and kept people up to date and really pushed for Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner's name to stay out there and not to become a cold case. Yes, I believe. Okay, official. Let's see if this is it. Don Wells' official site. Let's go to the videos. I only see one that came out 3 days ago. Am I missing something? Is it on the community tab? Nothing's on the community tab. Let's see what it says. Yeah, that's the wonk, wonk, wonk I'm talking about. That's the wonk. Let me move it over to the other side. Hold on a second. Let me go back. I can do it. I can do it a different way. We'll just watch it together. But I think I did find it because was it the one talking about Candace's site, her YouTube page? I'll wait for Miss Robin to let me know. I think this is it, but it's from 3 days ago. So let me pull it up. Let me move it over to the other screen. That's the only way I can pause. There we go. Let's see what this says. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. I'm going to mute myself because we don't want that wonky stuff. No, it's the letter he wrote. Oh, no. Then I don't think this has the letter he wrote. Hold on, let me just go through here real quick. No, go, if you can, go find me that link. I can't seem to locate it, and I'll pull it up and play it. But I can't seem to find it. And then we have some other stuff coming here. Let me mute this. Stop. I want you guys hearing stuff yet. So we got some, we know who the main supporter of, Candace has been, and it looks like there's some major issues in that relationship as well. So we'll be covering a little bit of that here in just a minute. So as many of you guys know, with Orrin and Orson West, it's hard to say their names, West, they are, their parents are behind bars. Their adoptive parents are behind bars today. Many of you guys know it spread like wildfire, over the internet. I had the recording of the district attorney out there. The main takeaway, if those that have not been updated on that case, the main takeaway is they still have not found the boys. They're still moving forward with the murder charges and the murder trial without them. So they apparently have enough evidence to successfully, or at least in the minds of the district attorney, to successfully prosecute them without the boys. It's, and the reason why I throw that up, and I'm going to throw this up, I played the wrong video at the beginning. As you guys could tell, I stopped it and moved forward. A lot of people don't realize 450 children, our children here in the United States, are senselessly murdered or killed by negligence and accidents at the hands of their parents every single year. So this idea that, the majority of these parents in a lot of cases, and we don't hear about too many cases. And I was really surprised because I watched on a YouTube channel, a friend of Candace that apparently is not being friendly with her right now. You'll see who I'm talking about here shortly. Was talking about how, it was a hideous remarks about, parents teaching their children about these creepy white vans, da 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 da. You know what? Children should always be vigilant. Period. In this day and age, the buddy system works. Being skeptical of anybody driving behind you is okay. The idea that it is bad to teach your children to stereotype and things like that, when it comes to their safety, who cares? I really don't care. Is it politically correct? I don't care. At the end of the day, we want to make sure the children come home and come home safely. And so, needless to say, that person themselves acknowledged how rare it is for children just to be abducted from a store, right? So it's like, you're saying this in one hand, yet trying to convince us that this child was abducted on another hand. And it's very, very telling of motives and things of that nature. So I just wanted to point that out. Good morning, everybody. I see you guys coming in. Good. We love fresh coffee. Pass some over. Pass some over. We love fresh coffee. We love fresh coffee. Thank you. I see a lot of people from around the world this morning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just don't let your kids be out there by themselves. This day and age, you can't. This day and age, you can't. We were fortunate. Back in the day, my mom can tell you, back in the day, we walked to school. I walked to school at kindergarten, but I had my sister with me. And our school was literally a tenth of a mile away. Like, you walked up 2 or 3 blocks and you turned and, there was a crossing guard there. Everybody knew everybody. This day and age, you can't even do that. You can't even do that. So it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So people, protect your children and don't listen to these stupid YouTubers on here telling you it's not, I can't believe that every time they see, what if it's just an electrician? What if it's not? You prepare for the worst. You prepare for the worst and hope for the best, right? That's what I was taught. That's what I was taught. So, it looks like there are a lot of cracks that are starting to show in this facade that the Wells have created. And I'm happy to expose them, especially after the torment that I went through bringing this case to light on my own channel and speaking out about my own opinion and my experiences. while out in Rogersville, Tennessee. So good morning, Jen. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, we all heard Ronnie Lawson. I'm going to see if I can pull that up real quick. If I can pull that up, that'd be great. Let me see if I can try to pull that up for you guys and we'll watch it. So, home, WJHL. There we are already. They're already in my, I'd like to see that Lawson. We can get Lawson back up here if they still have it up. I definitely got Grandis up. Just saw her ugly mug. I got a lot of planned search stuff here for Summer Wells, but I want to get the one with Ronnie Lawson. I haven't found it yet. But anyways, even if we can't find it, Ronnie Lawson basically said in a statement to the media, when they were asking, they were saying, he came out. Now, mind you, Mr. Lawson hasn't spoken about this case. He's barely even spoken to media, right? I think Brian Enton was the only person that's actually spoken to him face to face. And I think he felt obligated to speak to him because even WJHL on multiple occasions received written statements from him, which were most likely not prepared. We're actually missing 3 months prior. Yes, that is what they said. That is what the district attorney said. She acknowledged it in the press conference. I'm not going to go through the entire press conference because it's out there, and I went through it pretty extensively yesterday. But I do have a clear copy of that press conference if anybody would like to go and preview it. It is in one of my playlists from yesterday. We did go over everything yesterday. I was on the computer quite a bit yesterday, as a matter of fact. Let's see here. So I still haven't been able to find it. Once Robin, if she can find the link, I will play that link, but until I can get it. So we'll just go ahead and get started here. I still haven't found Ronnie Lawson, but anyways, going back to him, basically what he said is the Wells are not cooperating and they have lawyered up. And so Candace Wells came out. Well, she didn't come out, right? She's all over YouTube, has no problem speaking all over YouTube. But when it comes down to defending herself against an allegation such as they are not cooperating and they have lawyered up, she sends her mother out to call Ronnie Lawson a liar. Now, remember, the mother, the Grandis was supposed to have been sleeping and doesn't know what happened. So how can she speak just like when Don was out there speaking? He supposedly wasn't even there. How would he know these facts? He doesn't know them firsthand. They all keep trying to protect Candace. You notice that? Keep Candace out of the media. But she gets tatered up and gets on YouTube and starts jabbing those jaws, right? So she writes this horrible letter that's basically saying, I haven't lawyered up and da-da-da-da. The spelling was all over the place. Didn't even look good. It looked like a 3-year-old wrote it, and saying that she didn't lawyer up. So we were in here talking about that, who do we believe? And somebody had brought to my attention that Predator Nation had her on there, and she was like bragging 3 days prior to the statement from Ronnie Lawson that her attorneys got this. I'm not going to go into the language, I'm trying to keep my language under wraps here, but you guys get it. So 3 days prior to Ronnie Lawson coming out, she's saying she's got an attorney, but yet she's going on and having Grandis and writing letters to WJHL saying she doesn't have any attorneys. I believe Ronnie. And I believe Candace's first statement when she wasn't caught, right? It's when they start feeling like they're getting caught, she starts lying. Because when she thought it was a good idea, when they were talking about gag orders, she had no problem telling Jamie at Predator Nation, my attorney's got this shit. I said it. There we go. That's the last time I'm saying it. I don't need to be putting money in my custard, right? So she admitted before Ronnie Lawson came out that she has attorneys. Ronnie Lawson also indicated that he had not spoken to Don since he's been arrested. So does that mean him? Does that mean his detectives? Does that mean Don lawyered up before he went into jail? So we all know about these targeted searches, right? We all know about these targeted searches that they're doing, these small, more personal searches in very specific areas. We want to know why those areas were so, were specified. So they said that they had a planned search, which we all know planned search means they could have just planned it a few hours before they went out there, right? Which is, or 24 hours, a day before, which is what we kind of assume, because nobody knew about the search, not even the news organizations. The news organizations got wind after the search had already started. I saw Candace on Benny's live saying she had no clue that this search was going on until it was almost over. So she didn't even get wind of it until late afternoon, around 2 or 3 in the afternoon is when she finally realized that they're searching in and around her property. And that should be very telling. First of all, we've got these coordinated searches that are in and around their home. For the first time, we were able to see that law enforcement truly is looking at the Wells parents. And they're looking at the Wells parents very, very closely. I came out here, months ago and said that they were the primary persons of interest in this case. And, I was slammed, I was put through the ringers and everything else. And let me reiterate that. The Wells parents are the primary persons of interest in this case. Okay. I'm hoping, yes, Don is still in jail. He's going to be in jail for several months. And actually, JLR, when he went in, he did a video saying, will Don ever get out? And, a lot of people kind of laughed that off, but it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. So let's just go through. I wanted to go through this. Let me update this real quick. I should have a video that's here. Where's my video? My video. That's a screen record from the boys last night. Let me find the video. I may just have to run it from. That's it. Shoot. See. This it. No. Okay. So those are other things. Let me go ahead and just pull it up on Telegram. That's the only way I'm going to be able to play it for you guys right now. Hold on. Stop. I get that over there. Lordy, I feel 40. Oh, I'm older than 40. All right, let me go ahead and I'm going to have to mute myself and see if this even works. This may not work, guys, because I have to run it on one computer. I'm not sure if it's going to.
Just trying to hang in there one day at a time.
So what you guys are going to be hearing, sorry, I probably should have given you guys a little update on what you guys are going to hear. So this was a live that Candace did last night, okay? And I literally came on here and went live over this video because I was completely, utterly dumbfounded in what I heard. So what you're going to hear is I'm going to get to it. If I can get to it, that's too much. Okay, it's right around this on this video. But anyways, what you're going to hear is she just talks about her boys. She's going to do her so she can do her boys. And then she dovetails, what people don't understand is Summer is always with me, as if she's referring to Summer in the afterlife, followed by Summer was, again, past tense, my best friend. So I wanted you to hear that out of your own mouth. It's a little creepy if you ask me. And then we're going to go into another aspect of this this story. So just hang tight.
I want to keep doing me so I can do my boys. But yeah, Summer will always be here with me, no matter what anybody says. What y'all fail to realize, all you haters, Summer was my best friend.
So there you have it, folks. That was about the crux of the entire conversation she had on that 16-minute live. She was still trying to figure it out. She was more looking at the screen in silence, trying to read all the comments coming in. And that is what she said on her live, that, you know, she didn't seem like Summer was coming home, if you ask me. I'm going to do me for my boys. And then follows up, but what people fail to realize is Summer is always with me. And again, you know, we all talk about, don't worry, you know, so-and-so will always be with you. They're in your heart. So that tells you that, you know, that's kind of the afterlife, you know, that's the passing of someone. And then she goes back to referring to Summer in the past tense. Summer, what people fail to realize, what all the haters fail to realize, is Summer was my best friend. These are telltale signs that she knows that Summer's not coming home, that Summer has passed away. And she's been using this kind of language for months. The very first interview they gave with media, they were referring to Summer in the past tense. And I say they because it was both her and Don. What am I missing? Maybe next time I'll record it. I have to screen record on my phone. Yeah, whatever it is. Did they say, hold on here, truth teller, did they say I'm going to keep doing me so I can do my boy? Yes, that's exactly what she said. Yes. Yes. But that's, and I can't take that as in referring, because I always tell people, you know, even in some of my comments, you do you and I'll do me, you know. So I understood what she meant. I don't think that was meant in a bad way. Okay, so that explains it. So it looks like that, you know, they're playing these games on social media. They're posting up letters, they're posting up information, and then they're removing it when they realize it's detrimental. So who is allowing these things? Who's telling them to be removed, right? So I do believe there are some attorneys involved. Now, is Candace following her attorney's guidance? I can't imagine she is, because I don't know. I mean, if it was an attorney that I worked for, they would tell her, stay off YouTube. Do not make a statement on another channel. Do not go on your channel. Do not post a thing about Summer. And why do we not want her posting a thing about Summer? It is because when you post things about Summer, you grab videos like she did, which was creepy. Everybody's like, oh, well, that was pre-recorded. Yes, but why would she put it on a new channel when you got your child burning up in flames with creepy music behind it? Out of all the videos that you have on these multitude of other social media channels that you have posted in the past, why would you think it's appropriate whenever you have a missing 6-year-old child to put a video up of her in fire? It was demonic. It was satanic. It gave me chills up my spine. I am just floored that she would think that that was appropriate. It was just hideous. Okay, Looking at it now. Thank you. Let's see what we got here. Oh, and we also want to say, Emma, she's been in the hospital. I'm hoping she's out now, but she has been in the hospital. So, give me just a second, folks. Get this over. Yep, that's it. Send. So give me just a second. I'm going to pull some stuff up. But anyways, this is why attorneys tell people when they're dealing with something like a missing child to stay off social media. And also I want to also bring back to the fact, we're starting to see these cracks happen in this case. We're starting to see it happen. And so, we want to do a rewind, right? And just look at what has happened in the past. Whenever they went out and started referring to Summer in the past tense in the very first interview, that was bad. But if they had had an attorney up front, they would have never gotten that interview with Chris McDonough. Because Chris McDonough, he was one of the first people out there and was actually able to get into their home. And she never allowed that to happen again because of the backlash she got. And it was because he was able to expose the living environment of those children. And anybody that has advocated for children, that has worked with law enforcement, knows that having a house in that condition is construed as negligent and child endangerment. And therefore, those are chargeable offenses. And, there's people wanted to do the spin, right? They want to do the spin. People have a way of spinning things. So when the kids got taken away after Summer went missing, the spin was the mean YouTubers got the kids taken. Trust me, DCS does not listen to a bunch of YouTubers and their opinions about parents. That's not why or what DCS does. They don't listen to that. They don't remove children because people are mean to you. They remove children from a home with due cause. With due cause, they remove the children from the home. There are many people, such as Michael Vaughn's mom, that truly had her child abducted, that keep her children. It is not standard operating procedure when you have a child go missing that all your other children are removed from the home. So there's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of misinformation that's peddled out there in YouTube land. I had one person in my chat telling me that if they had charges and they could prove that there was child endangerment and child neglect, they would have to charge them. Well, no, they don't, because we sat down with the assistant district attorney when we were in Rogersville, and they explained everything about the jeopardizing of the case, about how all the charges, when the charges came down, would be all inclusive and encompassing. There was a tactic and a reason for their madness, whether I agreed, and I publicly disagreed with that strategy, right? But this idea that they have to do this and they have to do that, they do not. They do not. And it shows people's, misconceptions and misinformation on the law. And that's where I have a problem. You got people out there that have had no education whatsoever in understanding the law that are trying to explain the law to others. And that's frustrating. It's like me. I have no idea about police stuff. That's in Duty Ron's realm of reality, right? And so I go over there a lot and listen to what he has to say because I highly respect him, along with Chris McDonough. So, when I want a psychological type of analysis, I go over to Michelle After Dark. There's certain people that I trust with certain different. Do I agree with 100% of their statement? No. Do they agree with me? Probably not. Maybe sometimes. Who knows, right? I'm not in there for to get to make me recognized. I'm in there to understand what is going on and to get a different perspective. I go into, I wasn't going to a lot of YouTube channels. People in here have said, maybe you need to start getting the whole entire perspective. So I'm like, you're right. So that's what I've been doing. I've been going out there. I've been listening to others. I've been getting different perspectives. Some of them make sense. Some of them don't. It's not always good to listen to everybody that you agree with. Sometimes having that opposing viewpoint helps you, learn a different viewpoint. It also gives you an opportunity to dispute that other viewpoint and show why that's not possible, right? But if you don't even hear it and don't listen to it, you can't do that. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on out there. So we just heard the cracks. We heard Ronnie Lawson come out saying these parents aren't cooperating. So that removes the veil. It also shows you that they are very much looking at the parents related to Summer Wells. They are very much looking in and around the property that Summer Wells lived at. It's starting to remove that veil that they are really honing in on another suspect or another person of interest, rather. So, those are some telling things to start, hopefully these people that love and, want Summer to come home realize being on team Candace and Dawn is not helping. They are most likely responsible for the disappearance of their child. This whole inflammatory thing, innocent until proven guilty. If you're supporting them financially and you're supporting Summer, you probably just supported the persons that caused her the most harm, right? I could not live with myself. I could not sleep at night if I knew I financially supported monsters. That's why you always err on the side of caution. You can always help them financially once the case is down further and they have been eliminated as persons of interest. Parents are always, take this as a life lesson, folks. When you're dealing with this true crime stuff, parents are always eliminated first. Okay? Law enforcement tries to eliminate the parents up front and first. They turn their entire life upside down as quickly and swiftly and strategically as possible to eliminate them so they can start grieving. They can start the grieving process. They can start the help process. They can eliminate them so they can move on to the right trail and the right leads that lead them to the person responsible. When all the other people are eliminated before the parents, folks, that should be red flags and alarm bells going off in your head. When Dudley is eliminated before Dawn and Candace is eliminated, those should be telltale signs that there's something wrong in the parents' background. There's something wrong with the parents' story. There's something going on that's not being truthful. And then you look at the behavior of the parents for all these months, right? Their behavior is not that of innocent people. It's not. If you look closely and you actually want to see it, you can see it clear as day. Clear as day. What time is it? Okay, we still got some time. Got to watch my time. All right, so let's go over to the other issues and cracks going on in the Wells lives, right? Most trusted supporter, ally, had their back, throughout all this. Please excuse the language. That's about to happen. Let me mute myself. We don't want the wah, wah, wah.
Hey, can you call Candace and tell her how to make mods?
I've been accessing the recording the cameras, and I asked for non first.
More problems with the Wells. The biggest supporter. Their biggest supporter. Biggest supporter right there. Just tanked. Just tanked. That doesn't show you that there's issues going on. I don't know what will, folks. I don't know what will. So we got a lot of problems. All these people that have been manipulated by YouTubers through emotions, because that's what they did, right? You got a team of people that go down, actually do some fact finding, look at the real facts of the case, not what you hear on mainstream media. You start coming out, showing what's really going on that people haven't seen or heard before. Our team was brutally attacked, inciting their base to manipulate them into financing the scheme. That's what happened. And people were hook, line, and sinker into it because they had hate for us. They all wanted to say, we're doing this for summer. We're doing this for summer. No, you're not. No, you're not. We were in Rogersville, Tennessee, searching for summer. We were in Rogersville, Tennessee, literally searching for summer, going in the hollers, the backwood hollers of Tennessee, searching for her in the pouring rain, in 30-degree weather, freezing our tail ends off. Nobody was out there with us. No other YouTube channel, no other search party team. Don and Candace knew we were out there. This was our second trip out there, and we couldn't get them out of their home to come help us search for summer. But you guys were mean to them, people will say. You guys accused them. What would you do if you were being accused of your child's abduction and you didn't do it? You would go out and hunt for them. You would be looking for them. You'd be going out and being visible, letting people know that you're missing your daughter. You wouldn't take the opportunities, the only few opportunities you get on national TV to talk about yourself. You wouldn't be telling everybody, I can't cry on cue. Why can't you cry over your own missing daughter that you believe clearly is gone? You're speaking to her as if she's in the afterlife. You're talking about she was here. She was. She's never, Don's told me on multiple occasions, she's not coming home. So why in the world are you sitting on the top of your mountain hiding from the world? Drinking and fighting and having law enforcement at your house. This is not conduct of parents that are missing a 5, now 6-year-old child, in my opinion. Let me throw that out there. In my opinion, and clearly a lot of other people's opinion. You know what? And I hate to say this, but there are, Candace's uncle, he was convicted of multiple counts of that. We hear about the allegations in Utah about Don Wells and his stepsisters and other family members. So yes, it's a great possibility. Who is Candace's real dad? Apparently she lived with him. Michelle After Dark did a whole segment on Candace and her past. She was very thorough and in my opinion, very good. It was very interesting information. So. Well, that's why I go to church and why I pray and ask for forgiveness. Don't know what to say. I'm one of those people that know I need God each and every day. But it will not shut my mouth up. I mean, if I see a spade, I'm calling a spade, period. And I'll let the chips fall where they will. I mean, I took a beating over this case. I can tell you that. the whole team has taken a beating over looking into this case. Had we never looked into this case, we would have never gotten the backlash that we did. But there is this underbelly society on YouTube that loves to attack and destroy good people trying to do good things for purposes, monetary purposes, as well as protecting the criminals' purposes. And, it's a telltale sign when you start looking in the past and start looking at past behavior. And when you start seeing a particular person gravitating constantly to the criminals and helping protect them on media and getting contracts with them to help protect them on social media, it's a little, those are alarm bells that I hear going off in my head. Just saying, that's insanity. I don't need to contract it with anybody to do anything. Yes, that sure was. That sure was. That sure was. So, like I said, that was the biggest supporter. The biggest supporter of Candace is now breaking. It sounds like starting to make that separation. But in that same conversation that he told me, that he had this contract with Don, I asked him point blank, I need to find those recordings and get those played for you guys, so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. And I will do that. I've got him in a particular file. But he also said that, and I asked him, I said, you're going to be eating crow when this starts coming down and the tables turn, because I know what I know. I can't change what I know. And when it starts coming down and the tables start turning on the Wells and law enforcement starts going after them, I told him, I said, you're going to be eating crow over this. You're going to take a major hit, because your information, you have led people so long in thinking these people are innocent. And he said, I'm here for summer. And if that happens, I will surely do a 180. He didn't say it in that verbatim. He actually used different words, and I'll let you guys, I will get that prepared today. We will hear that tomorrow. I will play that for you. So, for all those people spying, yes, I'm going to play a conversation that I had. So, and this was back a little while ago. Benny Keys and I are not friends, as many of you guys know. I try as a professional courtesy, such as when I was running with that story over the cracking cases, I actually picked up the phone. I think it's called integrity, when you talk to somebody that you do not like and tell them that you're running with a story and give them the opportunity to make their statement. And he made a statement, right? That I'm a piece of garbage and da-da-da-da. And then he decides to air that entire conversation, which I was recording too. I didn't see any point in adding that to the video because he had already had it on his page. So it was quite comical what he said. I got to say that was one of the biggest hit pieces that I've had in a little minute. So it was, if that doesn't tell you, people were interested in that other side. And it was believable because I'm sorry, Candace had a thing for Benny. And whether he wants to see it or not, that's okay. Has that been broken? Maybe it has. But it seems like, I think Benny is starting to see the reality, and I think he's starting to make that pivot. So we will be monitoring that too, because again, he put himself in the middle of this, and he's been the biggest ally of them. And if he's turning his back on Don and Candace, that should be a very telling sign to everybody about the involvement of Don and Candace Wells. Just saying. Yep. So we're starting to see a lot of stuff, even on Candace's live that I recorded, you could hear a lot of people who have she was like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way, and she even accidentally read one out loud that said, Candace, your time is up. So she read that out loud on that recording. So you were starting to see you're going to start seeing some major pivoting, in my opinion, at least I think. you're going to start seeing that the major supporters of the Wells are going to start making that pivot because they've been caught with their pants down. They've been caught, you know, not because they failed to stick to the facts. They failed to stick to emotion instead of reality. And that's where a lot of these problems come from, in my opinion. And, you know, we stuck to the facts and we provided opinions based upon the facts that we had saw and as we saw them. And again, we went out there and did our job. We didn't go and be buddy with these people. When you're investigating stuff like this, even on a journalistic aspect, you got to have an arm's length. You can't be friends with the people that you're trying to interview or trying to talk to. You can't be their friend. You have to be you have to be a skeptic. When they gave us, you know, possibilities of what happened, you take those possibilities and you eliminate them with facts of the case. You know, they kept asking, where's your witnesses? Or where's your evidence? Where's your evidence? My evidence was all the people that gave me eyewitness testimony, not testimony, but interviews, eyewitness interviews on the things that were going on, you know, in and around the Wells before, during, and after Summer Wells went missing. And that allows you to formulate an opinion. Anybody that went to school and had to do a thesis and a hypothesis knows what that means, right? So yeah, absolutely. And it has. It has. And, you know, I'm waiting, whether the information, you know, I always said that something happened at that water hole based on the fact that, you know, Hunter was never the same again. And Candace has almost PTSD-like symptoms when she's in and around that area. But there could have been something else that happened. I don't know. You know, I really don't. There could have been something else that happened, you know, that we didn't think about. But the bottom line is something happened that day, and it wasn't an abduction. Do I feel that it was intentional? I don't. I really don't feel it was intentional. When I went out there, did I think that because of their past, because we had already pulled information, we had already did some preliminary digging before we went out there on the first trip. I thought, you know, it was intentional, to be honest with you. I really did. So being out there did change my mind as to what could have happened to Summer. So again, you know, as we find out more information, you know, our perception does change. You know, it wasn't the same thing that we went out there thinking it was. I can be honest about that. But we know that she was in Candace's care, you know, and we were always under the assumption that Dawn was at work because that's what we've been told. But again, law enforcement never told us. Dawn told us that. Law enforcement has kept their mouth shut. So there's no telling what really truly happened. We did find an eyewitness that stated Dawn was at work that morning. So we just assumed that maybe he was telling the truth. But then several things came up through phone interviews with Dawn about, you know, the last time we saw her. He said that multiple times, not in the same interview, but over, you know, we've had, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, about a half a dozen or more conversations with him. And he said it multiple times throughout those several conversations. And so I didn't really think anything of it, you know, because he's so used to speaking on behalf of the family. But now looking back on those, I'm kind of hung up on those because, you know, when you look at that video, I can't remember who put it out, where they're talking about the interior of the truck that Summer was, when she was on the milk jugs, was not Grandis's vehicle, you know, and the only person that had the light color truck with the light color interior was Dawn's. I started remembering all those, the last time we saw, and I'm thinking, maybe he didn't misspeak. Maybe he just it was just coming out of his mouth that was the truth in the lie. And we talk about that a lot on this channel. I always look for the truth inside the lie, because in order to make a lie appear real, some aspect of that lie has to be truthful. So, even like when Candace said she drove like a bat out of, HE double toothpicks, as my mom likes to say, down that driveway. And I kept scratching my head, and it's like, well, if you thought your daughter was missing and you're searching for her, why would you leave the 11 or how many acre property? I can't even remember anymore. We deal with so many cases with such large properties. All this multiple, why would you leave the property and drive like a bat out of, off the property? And where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you drive to? You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make sense. And then it dawned on me, the lady down at the end of the road has cameras. She needed to find a way to explain while she's driving at a high rate of speed down Bell Hill Road. The truth in the lie. I wonder was true. Okay, let's see. Let's Miss Meadows. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Miss Meadows. Sorry. Yeah. And we get beat up for that too. So can't win for losing, but we still do. We forge ahead. We do what we do. And you can. That is you can do whatever, that's you. But I'm sorry, when, we do look into these cases though. See, that's you probably sitting on the outside. We actually go and look at these people. We interview people. We, bring that back in a journalistic aspect. We formulate opinion based upon the information we collect along the way. If I was sitting at home and watching somebody like my channel, maybe I would have that aspect. I would, but that's not what I do. That's not my job. That is the court and the juror's job. My job is to go out there. I search for people. I like going out there and looking. I like meeting people and getting their perspective. I like listening to people. I like interviewing people. I like bringing that all back here to the folks so they get the reality. They get to see what I see. They can formulate their own opinion. I formulate mine. After going out there on our fact-finding mission in December, my opinion was pretty much made up. But then again, I had a lot more facts than most people did, right? So our justice system is innocent until proven guilty. But you still have to sit in jail with the charge nonetheless, right? You still have to sit in jail with the charge nonetheless before you can go to court to prove your innocence. So, again, tomato, agree to disagree. I believe in the system. I have a legal background. So obviously it's something that I do truly believe in, but I also have a journalistic background, and I was the senior discovery paralegal. So I do have the investigative background. So with that being said, I formulate I base my opinions. I don't just say willy-nilly. I heard a few interviews on YouTube, and I believe they're innocent or I believe they're guilty. I mean, I actually went out there. You got to remember, we did 2 trips out there. Let's talk about who we spoke to. So we spoke to the main detectives, the head detectives in charge. We spoke to their lieutenant. We went over to the state attorney's office and spoke to the assistant district attorney. We went to Don Wells' probation officer, spoke to him. We spoke to Dudley John, which was in and around the family at the time. We spoke to Allie, her mother, her grandmother, right? We spoke to other people associated that were in and around the wells at the time. We spoke to neighbors. So it's not like we didn't have a lot of facts that many people already knew. We had facts that a lot of people didn't already know. We spoke to many neighbors of theirs. We heard many horrific stories that happened up on that mountain. We had heard many allegations of what may have happened between Candace and Hunter. You know, he is a victim of hers. So again, you know, it's not like I'm sitting here listening to news articles and formulating an opinion. We took the time to speak to the whole group of people, not just people that could be, that had information about the wells. Like, again, we went to, you know, the county and pulled up these beautiful maps. I mean, we did a lot of work, folks. I mean, this is what people aren't telling you. We went and pulled up maps. I've got his here we go. Quit claim deed for the property. We've got his whole entire arrest history in Hawkins County. We picked up every incident report that we could for the property, for law enforcement coming out to the property. We got the audio recordings for that. I mean, you're talking about a lot of work that we did, that we put into it. We didn't just go out there and start accusing people of stuff. We actually, you know, did work, did a lot of hard work. You tell me who else has done this much work on this case that's in YouTube land. I shouldn't say it like that, because there were a lot of people that pulled a lot of information, but physically went out there and did it. You know, it's like, you know, Chris McDonough did his due diligence, but I'm talking about the opposition, you know, the cracking cases, the, you know, the Bennies of the YouTube. When did they actually go out there with the mindset of trying to either confirm or dispute the allegations? He jumped on board with the parents with very little and strong-armed everybody else that didn't agree. So, double hockey sticks. There we go. Double hockey sticks. There you go. I think I've heard my little sister say that. Double hockey sticks. That's funny. That's funny. So it's just like, you know, it's insanity. So, you know, this isn't about me. This isn't about them. This is about justice for Summer Wells. And I'm happy as this stuff is progressing and I can kind of see the direction it's progressing. I'm kind of happy I am on this side of things at this point. I really am. I feel a little sliver of vindication as we're watching this stuff unfold. Good morning, Mama Bear. Just a little sliver. Good morning, Karen B. Moon Shadow. Good morning. Oh, Truth Teller's here. I've been seeing you, but I didn't tell you good morning. So good morning to you and Judy as well. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had multiple interviews with Don. Multiple. And guess what, guys? We recorded them. That's what we do. We record everything. So, yes, we have had multiple interviews with Dawn. Candace refused to meet with us. Candace refused to talk to us. Again, anybody that's associated that aren't her friends, that, you know, she does not believe, trust her, or might trip her up. She does not want to talk to them. She doesn't want to talk about Summer. I mean, look at her. Go look at her outside of her posting videos. When she's on these lives, when she's on YouTube talking to people, very little comes out of her mouth related to Summer Wells. Very little. On the flip side, you go look at Michael Vaughn's mom. That's all she talks about. I mean, you can look at the differences and I want you guys to really, truly pay attention to the different body language, the different how people act, ones that are innocent and ones that are guilty. When you start identifying the behaviors, it's easy to tell who's being truthful and who's lying, right? It's a craft. I want you guys to start doing that. Your homework. Start going over there and watching Mike Vaughn, everything with him, Monkey, right? Start watching everything associated with that, and then come over here and start watching everything associated with Candace and Don. And I want you to tell me if you can see the difference. I really do. You got to educate yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. Don't trust anybody's opinion. Go do the work yourself so you can formulate proper opinions so you don't get manipulated. It's easy to get manipulated. It's easy for people to prey on your emotions in an effort to manipulate you. It really is. Yeah, it is true. That has a lot to do with it. Some people have a sixth sense to the body language. They really do. They have a sixth sense to the body language. Oh, is it? Sorry, Rachel. Okay, guys, we're changing the subject. We are going on to my special guest to discuss. Hey, I'm so sorry. I didn't even see you. I'm not even paying attention. That's my fault. How are you?
I had to unmute. I'm fine. It's early in the morning.
Yes, you look great. Nice to finally meet you in person.
Thank you. And you do too. And congratulations on all of your work that you do and keeping the public eye on all these important cases and everything. And good for you.
So I just want to talk, there's been a lot of new information that's been recently coming out about Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner. And, we just really want to find out what's going on.
Well, I am just an observer and someone that's been following the case since October, so I can just speak from that perspective. I didn't know Kylen and Crystal, and my deepest sympathies to their families. And I, like the rest of us, I really wish that the case would get solved soon. But there was a lot of commotion last week about these warrant. There was the mainstream media featured one warrant. It talked about that, but there was actually 6 warrants whose seals expired. They had been sealed. The reason in the warrants given was to not taint the jury pool for when they do have a suspect. But anyway, these 6 warrants became unsealed, and so there was a lot of media coverage and commotion about that. Is that what you mean? Is that what you want me to talk about?
Yeah. I just want your information because you've been literally following this case. We ran into you when we started to investigate this particular case on our way to go out to Moab, Utah, to see what was going on, and we realized that you were following this case along with Dell 2000, and we ended up meeting Dell out there.
That's really cool.
Some good information, but you have just literally been keeping and making sure that these girls' names are in the top of people's minds, especially on Twitter. You've been posting. You have been one of the die-hard advocates for Crystal Turner and Kylen Schulte. And just tell us anything that you think the audience needs to know about this case. None of us really met Kylen Schulte or Crystal Turner prior to this. And I think, learning about them, we've all fell in love with them. We really have. We fell in love with them. They are beautiful souls and beautiful people, and they were gunned down senselessly at a campsite.
Yes, well, I started following you, and when you guys were in front of Laundry's house, and that was really very helpful. And during the time when there was a lot of media coverage about Brian and Gabby, you all were down there in Northport. That's where my mom lived before she passed away. So, like, I know that neighborhood and everything. And uh, during the time that they started looking for Gabby, there was a headline that caught a little bit of attention, but not as much as it would have if Gabby and Brian wouldn't have been a big thing. But that is about this double homicide of Kylen, Schulte, and Crystal Turner. So their bodies were found on August 18th. And it was shortly after that that Gabby was known as being missing. And there was some intersection between the two cases. But because, that video of Gabby and Brian with the Moab police surfaced before they had found Gabby's body. And so at the same time, they were already starting to investigate the Crystal and Kylan double homicide. And so things got really kind of confused. Those two cases got confused with each other, but there was so much media coverage on Gabby and Brian. It's kind of like the Crystal and Kylan case didn't get as much attention potentially as it could have. So then once the Gabby Petito case started to resolve, I think people started more closely following the Kylen, Schulte, and Crystal Turner case. And they were, as those who follow you and watched you all when you went to Moab, and thank you very much for doing that. That was very enlightening. But as that investigation unfolded, those two women were shot with a 9mm gun of some sort, we don't know what kind, at where they were living at their campsite in the LaSalle Mountains at the intersection of Forest Road 4651 and LaSalle Loop Road. So and then there have been 10 press releases from the sheriff's office since that time, and there's been a lot of speculation on social media about what occurred. And last week there were several search warrants whose seals expired, and then those search warrants were resealed the next day. But there was also a press release from the sheriff's office about that. And I don't know, I think my ADHD is like working really well right now, and I'm super nervous. So what else do you?
Oh, that's okay. You're doing amazing. I love it.
Just keep blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And what's so funny is when we went down there, it was kind of funny because they said we haven't heard from Grand County Sheriff in forever. And of course, we kind of made our debut down there. We spoke to the sheriff or the,
I remember.
And we went over to Moab Police and spoke to the police department. And literally like a day or two later after we left, they had a statement come out and people were like, you must have had an effect. And I'm like,
oh, yeah. Were you all down there around in November, perhaps?
Yeah.
So they had a statement come out on like November 17th.
Yeah.
And it was an odd statement because the sheriff's office said, we don't have anything new to report. And it was just a statement saying there is nothing to say. So that probably could have been related to your all visit.
Yeah, we were there from, I think it was the 10th through the, actually the 17th. I think that was our last day there. But
one thing that you guys did discover, or that you stated, but there wasn't like an official like confirmation of it, but then they finally did confirm it, was that the two women were found in a irrigation ditch, the South Mesa irrigation ditch. Their bodies were found in that irrigation ditch on August 18th. And you all went in talking to the sheriff's office, had stated that they had drained that ditch and searched in it because there was other information before you all went down there that they only spent like 2 hours at the crime scene.
Yeah.
But then in January, the sheriff's office did a press release on January 19th that confirmed what you all had said, which is that they turned off that irrigation ditch and they searched it completely for days. And so that was very comforting to know. But you all had said that first. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah, well, I think it was because of Cindy Sue's statement. You know, she was we had to realize that she was in shock at the time, you know, and
Very much. Yeah.
And her recollection of, you know, the timing of how long they were out there and stuff changed. And we also found out that they actually had some cameras up, you know, I believe it was the FBI actually posted cameras up to see if anybody had come back to the scene. And so that lasted for a few days. So that was the reason, I think, the reason why there was a misconception of that area being open. Even though it was open for a primary purpose.
Yes.
And that was to allow, you know, possibly the suspect to come back and, you know, preview the scene again, or find, you know, if they wanted to see if something was found, or you know, who knows.
And we found out last week that we had heard rumors that there had been like a person of interest early in the case, and one of the search warrants that flashed out, it had mainstream media coverage, and then all of a sudden it was resealed again 24 hours later. But there was a man, it was widely covered in mainstream media, but there was a young man who had been camping in the area and lived in the area, and they had investigated him, but there's a talk in their press release. They confirmed it to what was stated in the search warrant. There was a blanket and a jacket that was located early in August, you know, I mean, shortly after the bodies were found, not early in August. It was around August 20th. Okay. And, but the blanket and the jacket, they said that they did forensic analysis on it, and that there was nothing on either of those items related to the crime. So, and that person also, I've been told by another source, had an alibi and such. And so that person was actually completely cleared, but some news coverage, it just ran with that search warrant as soon as the search warrant was released, and said that it was a potential suspect. Well, maybe on August 20th it was a potential suspect, but not anymore. But the sheriff's office have said that they have persons of interest, so that's good.
Yeah, that is good, because I got to tell you, when we went down there, you know, I know you've watched our videos. We had 6 people, and counting, including Brian Laundrie. And we went down there with, you know, we had these great people. We went down there, and the more we dug in, the more we interviewed people, you know, the more we talked to the locals and the van life community and everything like that, more suspects, or not, I shouldn't say suspects, persons of interest just started listing on our, like, we're thinking we're going to be eliminating people. Yeah. I have never in my life went to a community of less than 5,600 people and went from 6 identified possibilities to over 30. Like, it was insane.
Wow.
It was absolutely insane.
I feel really bad for the people in Moab, because it's all on them until, you know, this is resolved. But early on in the investigation, at the same time, I've just been going through the press releases that the sheriff's office has given us, and they said early on that, not in the press release, but in like oral statements, they said that the suspect, or the person, whoever it was, fled the area. In their press releases early on, they said there was no danger to the Grand County community. So I don't know. I really wish that I knew what that meant. Like, is this somebody?
So do I. And, you know,
yeah.
This is my opinion. You know, I don't, because they won't tell you, you know, that they have a suspect or they've identified a person. So if they can't identify a person, how do they know that person has fled? 1. 2, what people don't know about this area, it's a high tourist area. Yeah. So, for example, I think they had like 3 or 4 million visitors a year to that location. And this particular area was the touristy, you know, this was you know, a lot of people go there during the summer. And this was in the months. So they had a lot of tourists, a lot of people that are out of state, a lot more people that were commuting in and around that area. They have more hotels and rentals than they do homes for the people, which has created almost this van life need. Like you know, they have we found out from the city police, Moab City Police, that they actually have ordinance that prevent people from living out of their cars in these parking lots. But it's such a rampant problem right now. They have no way of enforcing.
Wow. I think that you all had some footage or pictures too that showed a parking lot in the area just filled with like
Yes.
campers and vans and all this stuff because they need all these. I think that's exactly right. It was something like 3 million tourists and the population is like 4,000 to 5,000 people. And so they have all this service industry that they have to staff.
Mhm.
And so all these people come in to work. I've been following the Facebook,
Yeah.
different apps and stuff that show what's going on in Moab right now. And like, there's all these job postings
Mhm.
coming up for the summer. They need people, they need to staff all these positions for all the restaurants and all the hotels. And
Yeah.
it's like a temporary thing though, but there's this huge influx of people that comes every summer. And so I don't know.
It is a beautiful. I gotta say, I love the view. It was very serene, scenic, serene, peaceful. I mean, the area looked wonderful. But going back to that, the tourist aspect of it, and them saying that this person fled, it was very upsetting for me to see that there was no flyers in and around that area for Kylen, Schulte, and Crystal Turner. There was none posted. Now they had a lot of political stuff posted on all these, polls and stuff like that, but they had nothing. And it upset me because I figured, did they say that for, tourist reasons, for money reasons, because the community, even people in and around the community, they knew that the girls were murdered, but they didn't know who murdered her, and nobody was telling them.
And I know it seems like it would be so effective to have like flyers and billboards as we go. I'm sorry.
That's
a
okay.
second. Sorry about that. As we
No,
go
of course.
into the tourist season, because some of the people that had been there last year might be returning from
Mhm.
Europe and all over the world. People come to visit this place. They may have seen something, and so it would be so effective to have like a real media drive this time of the year going into the summer, just
Yeah.
in case,
We had planned on doing another trip back there. TikTok actually financed our first trip out there. So we, now that, and when we were going out there the first time, it was like few locals was like, we don't want them here. But as soon as we got there, people just flocked to us and wanted to tell us their story, wanted to tell us, a lot of information that they could. Everybody but the Moonflower, people at the Moonflower just did not want to talk to anybody. And I realized that early on in the investigation that I think it was another employee was detained by law enforcement, was let go, but still detained nonetheless. And I believe that gentleman actually worked for the Moonflower as well. So that may have caused the contention as well. So I'm not sure. But definitely happy that this case is finally moving forward. I'm definitely happy to hear the forensics, because when we talked to the assistant district attorney, I can't remember her first name, but Miss Sloan.
Christine, I think it's
What is it?
Christine.
Christine
I think
Sloan.
Yeah, I think so.
It was, she let us know that there was, that they're still waiting for forensic. Everything was at a standstill until they got the forensics back. There was really nothing they could do without the forensics. So hearing that some of the forensics are coming back, that they have been able to clear a few people based upon forensics, that is a step in the right direction. So I'm very pleased.
Right. But we still need it to go a little bit faster because it has been over 6 months. So
Yeah.
I just really, we are not allowed to know what's happening, but there still is, some speculation at least the private investigator that is working on the case has said recently in a Facebook post that the case won't go cold, but he can't say why. So, we are.
And I trust Jason. We've had him on this show. I've spoken to him. We actually provided him, when we came back from there, we provided him a couple new names. Whether those names went anywhere or not, we were able to at least provide him a couple new names that he did not hear previously. And, we've stayed in contact here and there. I know he's very busy. So unless I've got some, information. I really try not to contact him, and but when we're trying to get Kylan and Crystal circulating again, like when they're not being talked about, I have no problem helping them and bringing him on the panel and having him talk about Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner. We had an amazing interview with Sean Paul Schulte, and
I watched that.
Really,
That was
opened up to us.
fantastic.
Yeah, it was very heartfelt and very sweet, and God bless that man. Really,
But
God bless that man.
so yeah, maybe you should have JJ back on the show again soon, because he said he's going to some gun show, and they're going to buy a 9mm and do some ballistic testing for like the FBI or something, and that if the ballistic testing proves that if it works the way they're thinking it might work, that then they would have information about a particular person that might be very compelling. That's what he was saying yesterday. Yeah. So
very good. Yeah, I'm interested in that. I will reach out to him and see if he'll be willing in the near future to come back on here and give us some information.
Cool.
Any information he's willing to share. I know that it's kind of like we have to be cautious. Like even myself, sometimes you get information and you just want to run and bring it to the people and everything like that. But you kind of have to step back and find out, is that going to hinder the investigation or help the investigation? If you want to provide information that helps the investigation, but you don't want to tell the public something that may hinder the investigation. So there's that fine line there, that we try to be respectful of. So, I know Jason knows that. So I trust when he comes on here and he says something like, we really can't answer that. I understand what he means, So I do appreciate and respect him. He's a great guy. And a lot of people don't know this man came out here and helped Sean Paul Schulte out of the goodness of his heart. He has done this pro bono. And I think he has just now started doing a fund drives to help raise some money. And I definitely want to help him with that if I can. So I will reach out to him and see if we can, help him raise some funds. I know he's spent a lot of time, money in this case. And if we can help, give him something to help him propel forward, we definitely want to.
Awesome. So is there anything else specific that you wanted to know?
Let me see. Does anybody in the chat have any specific questions related to Kylan Schulte that Rachel might be able to answer?
I didn't know them in person, but my mom, I guess that I don't want to talk about someone else's like sexual orientation or anything, but I'm okay talking about my mom because she was cool with me. But my mom was gay and very much into like women's rights and all this stuff. So all of her friends were they were all like women couples, and so and then I've been to Moab a few times, and then I just kind of feel like that their case needs to stay in the public eye, because I've read that murders that or any crime that gets media attention, that they actually the police or law enforcement will devote more resources to those cases. So I just feel like it's a matter of like social justice that this particular case gets the attention and the resources that it deserves.
Absolutely. And it's kind of a shame because, we've all had, it sounds bad, we've tried to attach Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito. I mean, it was kind of a situation where they were really connected in some aspect, because we did find out Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner actually did see the
right
between Gabby and Brian. They had already clocked out, so many people, based upon the records, would say no, that nobody was there. But we did find out from one of their friends that they did in fact see the altercation. They just happened to leave and didn't stay for law enforcement because they knew that people were handling it.
Yeah,
and that was one of the aspects that we were concerned about was, the LGBTQ, this being Utah, Latter-day Saints,
Right.
We were concerned, but we realized when we got out there, people were very accepting of them and their lifestyle, which was good. That eliminated that possibility of it being, an attack on their culture, so to speak. And I got to say, with your mom and stuff, things have changed, dramatically over the years, because back then you couldn't talk about it.
Right. But when my mom was young,
public,
you couldn't talk about it. I mean, I knew what was going on when I was a kid, but people would get fired from their jobs and things like that. And so, but then over time, of course, she just died 3 years ago. Everybody was out, and then it's fine, but it was a secret that we had to keep.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid. So yeah. But
yeah, it's definitely a lot different now, and bless, nobody should ever have to. They should feel comfortable in their own skin. I advocate for that personally.
Yeah.
And I feel I'm happy that this day and age people. I've got bisexual cousins in my family, and it's nice that they don't have to keep that quiet. They can have open and intelligent conversations. They can talk about their feelings and some of the things like anybody else does. And at one time they were, if it was a different generation, they would have been precluded from doing that. They would have been trapped inside their own body, and that's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Yeah, well, we just have to keep some media focus on the women and just their, we've gotten to know them in all the research that the web sleuths and the Twitter mob, I guess I'm a part of that, have done. We've learned, we feel like we've met them, even though we haven't, but they were just amazing women that were just living each day to the fullest. And it's just not understandable how this could happen, because they were they just there cannot be any motive. I mean, whoever it was not, I doubt that they were in any kind of relationship with either woman. Like typically in a murder or a crime situation like this, there's some kind of domestic violence thing like with Gabby and Brian, but it's not like that. So it's just so inexplicable. I just can't even fathom who would have done this. And it's just, we really need to know, because if it's just totally random, it could happen again,
Yeah, I agree. But I feel, for whatever reason, I've always felt that it felt to me like it was somebody that knew him and somebody that was a local. And that was just my perception of it, not that that's the reality. And there was a few key factors that went into that. And one was the location, that area, even though it was frequented by many people, it was known more so for the locals. And the fact that it appeared from the information that we had received that, the person was running to them and got, multiple shots. That's somebody that has to feel comfortable in that area to not just bring out one or two shots, but multiple shots, because the girls had multiple wounds on them. And it appeared that, they were further apart from each other, which means there might have been somebody chasing them.
Could it be?
Again, it had the hallmarks to me of just really personal. And I don't know why. I guess probably because it has the feel of overkill.
Yeah, that's a real issue with the whole story, because for those of you that have been following the case, before Crystal and Kylan were killed, the night before that, they had shared with friends that there was a creepy man who had moved his camp uncomfortably close to them and had intimidated them. And over time, even though JJ wouldn't tell us at first, we found out from one of the friends who spent the last hours of their lives with them that what the man had done was he had walked between their tent and their campfire at night, thinking they were sleeping in their tent, but they were both actually sleeping in a hammock in that little grove of trees. Yeah. And so that was a very odd behavior. So whoever did it moved, broke camp etiquette by moving in this big open space, moved right next to where they were, and then crept around their tent in the dark. I mean, that is like the creepiest thing. I just get chills just saying it even. And so if they knew this guy well, we would assume that they would have said his name. So he may have known them, he may have seen them, and but they might not have really known him. Like he might have been somebody around town or something like that. So that's like one of the big mysteries of the case is this creepy man.
And I can tell you when we were out there in that location where that creepy guy was at, it was literally like their area is big and there's like some trees there and they had their tent right there. He was literally on the other side of those trees. Like he was freakishly close.
And the trees they're like, it's Utah, so it's semi-arid. The trees were far apart and it was sparse. So it's not like you wouldn't see the guy. You would at least see his silhouette through the trees. Yeah. And it would be very uncomfortable to be two women camped there, which was relatively isolated. Nobody within, like, to the road and nobody around you. And then this man comes and sets up camp, like, within a matter of feet from you. Yeah. He could have gone anywhere. There was a big field there. I saw your footage and I've studied the maps. He could have gone anywhere around in that field. But
even just further down. I mean, there was another
set of trees,
literally, 20 yards away.
And then he came back with more food and clothes. It's just, it's just so creepy. And
it's sad.
They were worried about their rabbit.
This close of being safe. Like if they would have just stayed at their friends and went back and packed up their tent when they got back to back there, they went back there because of the rabbit. But they promised their friend that they were going as soon as they woke up, they were packing up and moving. So clearly, whatever happened from the time they got back to before they were planning on packing up and moving.
Yep. And they were supposed to go see their friend for dinner, I heard. Yep. And then they didn't show up, but it was no big deal because they just figured the friend just figured they got too busy with the moving and everything. Mm-hmm. And so it's just horrifying. Whoever this creepy man is, we have to kind of go with the story there's theories in social media that maybe it wasn't the creepy man or something, but it just seems like we have to kind of go with that story.
Yeah, but again, maybe people are so focused on the creepy guy, they're not focusing on the other possibility it could be. Yeah. It's a classic whodunit. Nobody knows, and the people that do have some of the information are keeping it very close to the chest. So
so we'll be glad when we hear something. I mean, we need to have at least a suspect. It would be nice to have a suspect formally announced, and
it would put a lot of people at ease if we just had somebody formally announced. Yep. Because I still get calls from people that live in Moab, Utah that say, did you make sure you looked into this person? And did you make sure you looked into that person? And are you sure it's not this person? And are you sure it's not that person? We still get calls from locals in the area. They're still concerned for their, they're very quiet about it, but they're still very much concerned for their safety and their town's safety.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame them really. Mm-hmm. So I think that, though, going back just for a second to the issue of flyers and billboards, this would be the time of the year to get those up. We can't assume that law enforcement's about to solve the case or anything. So it might be a really good opportunity to grab the attention of those individuals who are returning. If 3 million people, I can't even fathom that many people. So people from all over the world, and probably somewhere on somebody's video footage or dash cam footage is a car or a person or a flash of something at that camping spot, and that individual doesn't even know about the murders. You just don't know. So
maybe we will get with Jason Jensen and see if maybe he wants to collaborate on a fundraiser for maybe some billboards or something like that. That does sound like a good idea. People coming into the town, seeing a billboard of Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner. If nothing more, it'll get law enforcement kicking in high gear to get that billboard removed, because they don't want people approaching the county seeing a billboard of 2 women that were just recently murdered.
And not only that, but let's take the most conservative view and say that it also would maybe have people be a little bit safer, and
Yeah.
just if you see something, say something, because
Absolutely.
until this person is behind bars, really just be a little bit extra cautious, because
Yeah.
I mean, if this person did this once, obviously they could do it again, and they could be anywhere in the United States or anywhere. So it's a little bit scary. Yeah.
And we don't know what triggered this, we have
Right.
no clue what triggered this. And that's the most scary, because was this guy just, there's a lot of drugs in that area. Was this guy just
Yeah.
twisted on drugs? And if he was, he'll be twisted on drugs again, and was he up for days? Is he psychotic? We literally have no clue.
Right. So I hope they get it solved soon. The sheriff, I've seen some of his statements, not press releases, but I haven't researched anything about him, but Sheriff White, he grew up in that area, and he's quoted in like a news source as saying that it's really personal to him, and I'm sure that he wants it solved just as much as everyone else, and it's probably driving him crazy. And you can't know what's going on behind the scenes. They may have a lot of evidence, but not enough to have probable cause. And so, how you watch
Holding the case.
Yep. So we just have to, any information that people have, they should contact the Grand County Sheriff. And in Utah, I think there's another Grand County in Colorado. And we just have to keep praying that there's going to be a resolution to this very quickly. And we can go on to covering the trial of it, making sure that justice gets served. So,
yeah. So we're just going to keep our fingers crossed. We'll keep pushing forward. We're going to keep Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner's name in the light of social media, and keep pushing their name forward. It's just, we pray for the families that the families are still suffering. A lot of people forget, the families still suffer. So anyways, Rachel, thank you so much for spending your morning with us. You did a fabulous job.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. And thank you for all you do to serving justice, covering these various cases and giving us all these details that mainstream media can't give us. And you're amazing, and keep doing your wonderful work. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you. You're making me blush.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.
So there we have it. That was my special guest. Didn't know she had been following me for so long, but I ran into her when Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner's case came out. She's just been a wonderful person, very dedicated to keeping, Crystal Turner and Kylan Schulte's name out there. Even when we, moved on to Summer Wells, she was constantly just hitting Kylan Schulte, Crystal Turner, and has just been a strong advocate for them. And, now that I hear a little bit about her mom and stuff, it sounds like this case may have hit closer to home for her, So, and that's what you need. It's those cases that really get you here and allow you to work your tail end off to make sure that their case does not go cold. And she was one of those wonderful, strong advocates to make sure that their case did not go cold. So very honored and very pleased to have Rachel on the panel today. So I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit about that, a little bit of discussion related to Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner. We want to keep that case still alive, so it sounds like there are still things going on in that case as well. So we'll just pray for the family and pray for resolution. Yes. And thank you, Anissa. Anybody with any information related to this? Now, they are still looking for some still photos, so photography as well as videography in the Moab area, primarily the La Salle Loop Mountain area from August 10th to August 18th. If you have been in the Moab, Utah area from August 10th to August 18th, go through your photos, whatever. If you have those mountains, if you were back there on those mountains and you have any photos or videos, please just send them to law enforcement, please. Because even though something may look benign to you, it may be that one vehicle that's in that photo that you're not paying attention to. It might be that one person faded out in the background that you're not paying attention to. So anybody that has any information was in that area from August 10th, 2021 to August 18th, 2021 that has videos or photography from that area, please reach out to law enforcement. Please turn your photos and your videos over to law enforcement. They need them. With that being said, let's move on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. Rachel is very good. She did a great job too, guys, right? Like, let's give her a hand for that. She seemed a little, she didn't even seem, she told me she was nervous. She told us all she was nervous, but she really didn't seem that nervous. She seemed great. She was really great. It was nice to finally put a face to a name. A lot of us, we speak on the internet, Twitter primarily, it doesn't have, you don't have a lot of face-to-face contact like we do here on YouTube. Even many of you guys know what I look like, but I know absolutely nothing about what you look like. So it was nice. It was nice. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. And Heather, or Rachel, if you are watching, people are saying thank you and giving you claps. You did an amazing job. Thank you. So guys, we are at the top of the hour. I did see some questions about the boys. I have not looked into it, but so far the only news I have personally received is that the adoptive parents, both Jacqueline and Trezell, I can't think of his name right. I don't know why I can't. Trezell West are the only ones that have been arrested in connection with the Cal City boy murders. I did hear that there is possibility of the more people being arrested in connection with that case. I have not heard yet of any further arrests being made. Does that mean there haven't been arrests made? No, I just have not had the time to look into that case to find out whether or not any further arrests have been made. So I am behind the 8 ball. And of course, I don't do a research when I'm live. My research starts after I get off here. So, and then in the mornings before we start, I literally have just enough time to get the thumbnail prepared and get the show set up. So it doesn't leave a lot of time in the morning to do too much research. So with that being said, thank you, Common Sense. I see you walking in here. Common Sense 101. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Okay. You're going to have to tell me. Every time I see that, your name, I can't. I don't know what it says. You're going to have to put like the grammar thingy in there, what it sounds like, so I can make sure I say your name right. Thank you. Thank you, Anissa. Thank you. Yes, they have court date. So they are going into court today. The court's not going to be doing a whole lot. That was the whole purpose, as we heard from the district attorney yesterday, the whole purpose of them going and doing the whole grand jury. Sorry, I'm like lost. The grand jury thing was to step over certain processes. So they are going to have their court hearing today, but now it just is going to straight proceed to trial. There's, they're going to go right past go. They're going to collect their $100, district attorney, of course, and they're going straight to trial. So that is good information to hear. That means they packed up that case well enough to convene a grand jury and to have those indictments levied upon the parents. So this should be, California law is a lot different than I'm accustomed to. So I'm curious and, sitting here watching so I can understand their law as well a little better and in the processes that go on. So this is going to be an educational experience for me. I hope it's it's sad what we're dealing with, but even in the sadness, I always try to have something I can take away that's positive. So this is going to be an educational experience for me to watch this case unfold and how it's going to work. And so I hope you guys pay attention to it as well and, learn something. As sad as this may be, let something positive come out of all this sadness. With that being said, guys, I just want to sue. Oh, I am so sorry, Sue. I would have never gotten that out of that. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sasha. So, yeah, I think so. There's going to be a lot more people involved. And I think you're right. I think this is going to be mind blowing. I think we're going to have our jaw open on this case. But again, out of all this horrific things, let something positive come out of it. And right now, I am so ready to learn a little bit more about what truly happened, what truly transpired with these boys, and why, and why. And I can't wait to see the, being a professional, legal professional, seeing the legal aspect of this and how they're doing it strategically and all these other things. I'm very curious and I want to learn. I want to learn some things with this case as well. So, guys, I want to tell you thank you so much for joining me today with the Coffee Club. You guys are amazing, beautiful people as always. I want to thank my mods. You guys do a fabulous job for me on and offline. I just want to tell people that my mods are very good. They keep me up to date. They reach out to me. Whenever things come in, I can, with their help, even last night with, Candace being online, I was able to watch it, record it, and come here and do a live and point stuff out. So, my mods are loving, kind, and very dedicated, and I can't show my thanks enough to them. And I'm so appreciative of them, and I want everybody to know that. So, if you guys want to help sponsor this channel in any way, you guys can go back. The free things that you guys can do right now to help sponsor this channel is go back and watch previous videos, right? The other way is to like, share, and subscribe this channel so other people can go back and watch the other videos. If you'd like to become a monthly partner and a member of this show, there's 4 ways under the Join Me tab on my channel. There's a Join Me button. You can join. I think that the bronze plan is $3.99 a month. The more expensive plans, $4.99 a month or $49.99 a month. So whatever your level is of monthly support, please consider contributing to us on a monthly basis. There's also super chats, super stickers, and right down here is Venmo, Cash App, and my PayPal if you'd like to support us financially. The Venmo has now changed. I'm working on a Cash App change soon coming to you. And so we may need to update that. I just realized that's still wrong. So on the Venmo, I believe it is Bullhorn Betty. Bullhorn Betty is our new Venmo button. So if you guys have been donating to Andrea-Griffin-2, I probably haven't been getting it, and you've probably been getting those back. I don't know. At any rate, I love you guys. I want you to have a fabulous Thursday. We are winding the week down, and it was great to hear from Rachel, and we are very blessed for each and every one of you. So, guys, God bless you. Make it a great day, and roll right into that weekend. Talk to you soon.